Welcome to another episode of Smash Writing. I'm Paul. This is Justin. And today we are continuing on our 2+ year idea reviewing every James Bond film. Now, this is the time that Justin has been excited for. And now he's still excited because we are about to review Die Another Day.
We've reached the end of
We've
Pierce
reached
Brosnan.
the end of the Pierce Brosnan films.
And depression will resume next month.
What? I feel like the next round is where we're probably going to like disagree with each other brutally. Okay, it's going to be a fun.
I've seen a few of Craig's. I'm not a fan.
Oh damn. Okay, so without further ado,
Well, for starters, they're way too fucking long.
I mean, hasn't the series been kind of like one? That's one of the knocks against every film.
Well, no, because for some reason, even the Brosnan ones, they average about 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
The Craig's, I think, are like 2.5 fucking hours.
Well, that shows you the next 5 months is going to be very, very interesting. Without further ado, Justin, go ahead and read the plot to Die Another Day.
We open up in North Korea. Bond is surfing his way into enemy territory, attempting to infiltrate a rogue military operation going on. But he gets a picture taken of him, and he's outed as a spy right away. And we meet a colonel and Zhao. They're trading diamonds for weapons. They're hiding the weapons over the demilitarized zone where the mines are on the hovercrafts. And he gets outed. His ship is shot down. But unbeknownst to that, the colonel's father is coming, and he sees the smoke of the helicopters, and he's like, "Get spy out of here! Hide everything." But Bond hit a bomb in the diamonds and sets it off, and he makes his escape. And he chases down the colonel, and the colonel goes over a cliff, and he manages to hang on, but he's captured. And we get the Bond theme. I hate the theme. I hate the song.
You do?
I do hate the song.
I
But
actually enjoyed it.
I do enjoy them intermixing the Bond girls and the visuals with torture going on.
Okay.
I do like how it's intermixed there.
So you like more of the video package?
Yeah, the video package was great. I'm not a fan of the song.
Okay.
But 14 months go by, and Bond is being released. The general asks him one more time, he's like, "Who the hell is the man? I know my son had an ally in the West." And Bond's like, "Probably the guy who sold me up the river." He's not being executed, he's being traded for Zhao. And he gets to the other side and knocked out, and he wakes up, and he learns that there's a leak, and there was a top brass killed. And then when they tracked down the leak, it was coming from the prison Bond was being held at, and they thought Bond was the one hemorrhaging information, so they had to trade him to get him out. But Bond's like, "I did not do that. I threw away my cyanide pill a long time ago." And now he's dead set on trying to find out who the mole is and gets out. But they're not letting him go. So he breaks out on his own. And he escapes the boat and gets to China, where he cleans up, and with the help of the Chinese government, is able to be directed toward Havana, where Zhao was being located. And he gets some information from a Cuban down there about medical clinic on this island. So he scouts out the island. He figures out how he's going to get there. He sleeps with the armed woman who comes out of the ocean. Regular Bond stuff, you know.
Yeah, you know.
And that woman's name is Jinx. It's important because we're not done with her character yet.
Not by a long shot.
She's also going to the clinic. And so she's in the clinic and Bond's at the clinic. And she shoots at a good doctor and is burning her information. But and she's planting a bomb. But while she's doing all that, Bond is on the other side of the clinic. He finds Zhao. They get into a big fight. A fire starts. Zhao gets away, but Bond gets a handful of the thing that was on his neck and ended up being diamonds. So Zhao escapes. Jinx makes her escape by diving into the ocean. And then Bond just casually just leaves.
I mean...
My job's down here.
Yeah,
Exit stage left.
Yeah, pretty much.
But he finds out that they're conflict diamonds, but they're marked with Gustav Graves. Who claims he found them in Iceland. So back to London we go. And we meet Gustav Graves. He's parachuting down into London to be knighted. He's a daredevil, adrenaline junkie kind of deal, who's rich as hell. And we see Bond is already there, and his right hand woman, his assistant, Miss Frost, is expert protege fencer who's teaching Graves how to fence. So Bond and Graves have a fencing match for money. It turns personal. Big fight. They destroy the place.
No, it's just pride. Like, come on now. They're just still practicing. They wasn't trying to harm each other.
I love how many times Bond gets punched in the face doing this.
Yeah.
But I do remember, I think it was during, is either Connery or The Moor, where they do reference the fact that Bond is a fencer. So this is not out of the blue. They have brought it one time. I'm sure of it. I just can't remember which one. They do mention the fact that Bond does know how to fence.
I mean, in theory, if you're like in the MI6 and you're in the 00 status, wouldn't you kind of be like a hand-to-hand expert in a lot of type of combats? I mean, like that.
I think he went to like a school where fencing would have been an elective.
Yeah.
So Bond would have taken fencing at some point.
Right.
But anyway, just to like, I know a lot of people find that weird, but it's like, no, they did reference the fact before in Bond Mytho that he can fence. So, while Graves is paying up and paying for the damages, he invites Bond to his showing of Icarus, some sort of secret space program he's been working on. And Bond gets a key leading him to an abandoned station for abandoned agents, where M is waiting. And they go back and forth a bit, and M's like, fine, you know what? You're back in.
You know, we literally believe you were giving away information, but you're back.
Well, I don't think she believed it. I think the CIA believed it.
Yeah. I mean, M has always...
She's butted heads with Bond, but she believes in him at the same time.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But, well, we meet back up with Q. He gets some new toys, including a ring that can shatter windows and an invisible car. I love that line. He's like, I think you've been down here for too long.
Yeah. Well, I also love the manual.
I think you can breeze through this in a couple hours. I can shoot through this in a couple hours.
He's like, in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, only a couple seconds. I wish I could make you disappear. Bond just has great... Pierce has great chemistry with everyone you put him with.
Yeah, yeah.
But we also learned that Frost is an agent, too. She's been working on the inside for months and hasn't come up with anything. She's not thrilled to be working with Bond either. But it's off to the showing of Icarus, which is happening at an ice hotel, which you could not get me in for any amount of money. I don't like the cold as it is. They're on an ice motel. But Jinx also turns up. And they have a bit of back and forth between the two of them. And Bond's watching everyone carefully. But we also see, behind the scenes, Zal meets up with Graves. And we're going to blow the secret here. Graves is actually the Colonel. They're going through gene therapy to change how the race looks on the outside.
Like, I know. That part made me laugh, because, like, I'm like, I get what they like changing genes around and the therapy is like, that is some powerful stuff to go from an Asian man to a British white man.
I do like the explanation, we'll get into later, but I do like the explanation for why he did it. But anyway, we discovered what Icarus is. Icarus is what he calls the second sun. It's a giant meteor, pretty much, that reflects sunlight back down to whatever positioning he points it at. I said, I'm getting the fuck out of this ice motel. I don't do this at an ice motel.
Of all the locations. Hey, this is the Nitro Santa Ice Hotel, right? But we're also testing a machine that uses the sunlight to burn things. I don't see this going too well for my stay. I hope I get a refund.
So Bond tries to break into the mine, but he ends up having to be helped by Frost to escape. So they go up to the room for fraternization, which she swore she'd never do. And Jinx does break into the mine now, but she's caught pretty quickly by Graves in his electric glove. So fraternization over, and he returns back to the mine, where he does manage to save her from lasers. But she returns the favor right back when he's attacked by the guy. But he sends her on her way. She's like, she's going to go get help, and she's going to go alert Frost what's happening. He goes to confront Graves, and he outs him as a colonel and everything. This is where we learn that he picked British dude because of Bond. How much he hates Bond and how much he hates everything about him. He decided to just become him and show him that he's better, kind of deal. But the Frost arrives, and it looks like Colonel's double teamed, but no! Frost was the insider all along.
Whoa!
And Bond his gun is empty because she emptied his gun while they were fraternizing. I do want to know how, at what point during the weird part of my brain, the ADHD part of my brain is like, at what point during the fraternization is she just removing the bullets from
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, when did this actually occur? And how did, like, because, like, the one thing with the Pierce Brosnan's Bond is that he still has that womanizing thing, but he's also not weak with the women either.
Yeah,
like,
he's not 100, he doesn't just stop everything for it.
Like, even with the at the Chinese hotel with the masseuse,
yeah.
like, he knew she was packing, like, but he portrays like, oh, I'm falling for this, and then bam, got your gun.
Yeah.
So, like, to have that move didn't feel natural, like, because he should have been still on guard.
Yeah. But I don't care that much. But he makes his escape from the hotel, from the mine, and then has to outrun Icarus, and then parasailing from the giant wave created by the iceberg. Then he gets into a car chase where he eliminates Zal.
Sure, this is not a natural disaster film.
Rescues Jinx from the melting hotel. That's a great place to put it in February, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he rescues Jinx from the melting hotel. But the Colonel has gotten away. Graves has escaped. So they retreat to the demilitarized zone in South Korea. And they're on the north, they're on the south, and the CIA's like, we can't reach out to them. And Bond's like, I'll do it then. And the guy's like, oh, I'm not letting you do it alone. Jinx, you go with him. Meanwhile, on the helicopter, the Colonel is meeting his father again. The father has been arrested, the hardliners have taken over, and the military is waiting on the other side of the military, where the mines are. And what's happening is Icarus is going to blow up the mines, and the military will come over. They try to shoot it down, but Icarus shoots down the missiles. The dad, though, is not happy about any of this. He's not happy about his son's new look. He's not happy about... He's like, we're all going to die if you do this. I would be a little bit
concerned, too,
yeah.
that my son decided to be a white British man.
Well, even, like, his plane is like, well, Icarus can shoot down the missiles. Nah, it's like, sure, Icarus can shoot down a handful of missiles that are coming at it from this way, but if you just throw everything from every different direction, you're going to break the mirror. So your plan is kind of faulty here. You didn't think this all the way through. But he's so pissed off, he just eliminates his dad. Which sets up the fight. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Graves versus Bond. Jinx versus Frost. And the two win their fights. They managed to escape the plane and the helicopter. And we see Moneypenny is having fun with the VR headset we saw earlier. And Bond is having love on a pile of diamonds. Which can't be great.
No, sounds like you're probably going to get something lodged in an area where you don't want to be lodged into.
But that is how we say goodbye to Pierce Brosnan's James Bond.
And so it ends. When one chapter ends, another chapter begins. All right.
Then, because there was something nice about spending a long period of time in London with James Bond. I don't know why that was. It just felt, I was like, this is nice. We're spending time in London. Because he's never really in London for long.
When he does his missions, yeah.
Yeah.
It's mostly all over.
Time to go.
Yeah. So it had that good feel for it. Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I'll say about the plot is, like, you know, yeah, it's all of the James Bonds is all of either revenge or world dominations and stuff like that. So that's nothing, like, new. But the one thing I like about this plot, they didn't try to make it over complicated to where you were just like, it's too annoying.
Yeah.
They really they gave you your twists and your turns. They wasn't trying to make it too difficult, where it's a whole lot of zigzagging, a whole lot of confusion. Um, this was one of these. This was one of the few that wasn't based off of the actual book. It just took elements from several books or something like that, right?
I have to wonder if this is where that Jewish space laser theory comes from.
Possibility.
Anyway, I do this again. These blonde women in the Pierce Brosnan run are stacked and incredible.
Yeah.
None of them are just there for looks.
No, not at all. And that's, having Jinx and played by the talented, beautiful Halle Berry.
I don't have my phone. I can't get the other woman's name. Rosamund Pike.
Yeah.
She was incredible as Frost.
Yeah. And so you have them, and they're definitely take the Bond girl to the next level, because, the Bond girls are always been, the sexy, just everything else weak about them. And we've seen glimpses of the series trying to turn the corner, but it really seemed like the Pierce Brosnan one took it.
Yeah, they finished taking it to that next level.
And, now you have Jinx as a CIA agent.
NSA.
NSA?
She's
Okay.
NSA.
Okay, gotcha. Either way, she's an agent there. She's not.
Yeah.
She's not just an eye candy. Yeah, you get your Bond moments, but as much as Bond's womanizing, say Jinx was she was playing the game too.
Yeah.
She was manizing him.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's what you wanted to see. It empowered all these women across. This is what, 4 films?
4, yeah.
4, yeah. 4 films you had. You
had the 2 big brains in Natalia and Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the DV. You had the DV. Which I can't think of the word for right now.
Deviant.
Deviants and kind of masterminds in. I can't remember who was. Oh, you forgot her name. The woman from The World's Not Enough.
Okay.
You had ass kickers and Michelle Yeoh and Halle Berry and Frost.
Mm-hmm. They all stood their own, and that was awesome.
You had whatever the hell Omatov was. Good lord. She literally had sex for a weapon in that movie.
But nevertheless, you had that.
You wonder why you have so much of our generation kill me with your thighs.
I get the Colonel's idea of becoming a British person to
undercover and go where he wants to do.
The only thing I don't get with that, and it's a little nitpicking thing, is this guy had to just come out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
And he was already getting knighted.
Yeah.
If you were being knighted, how often that would piss you off? Because a lot of times the ones who get knighted are often older people because they have to accomplish so much.
Yeah.
This guy just came out of 14 months, at least according to the film.
Yeah, because that was when he took the fall over the cliff, was a little over a year ago.
So literally, this guy did so much in a year's time to get knighted.
I do love the look of Zhao too, with the diamonds embedded in his face.
Yeah, I like in that was what was his name? Because he was in a couple of good movies. Ricky? No, I don't think Rutan or something. But he was a decent actor, definitely in that 2000 to 2005 range. And I was thinking about that character too. I like that. He was the pretty good looking, I guess, major, or he was second to the colonel or something.
Yeah.
Well, whatever he was the second in command to the colonel. And, he gets the diamonds in the face, and I'm just are they going to pick him out? What are they doing?
No.
But then, when Bond discovers him and he's getting that therapy done.
Yeah, it's gene therapy.
His whole new look with the blue eyes, the short buzz cut hair, the diamonds really made him a character, a good evil henchman of sorts. And the car chase, them trying to blow each other's missiles and everything, then driving fucking Transformers in the ice hotel or whatever the hell they were at. Yeah.
I do think that also they did work on Bond's age a little bit here, showing that age is starting to catch up to him a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's where the fun part of using the technology came into play is to where like he might need a car to do a lot more.
Yeah.
Um, though as cool as it was to having a car invisible, which they did a nice job of it, saying like it actually is not invisible; it's reflecting image.
Yeah, it's using the mirrors.
Yeah. You didn't notice the wheel tracks in the snow? I mean, that would have gave it a.
Well, I think they did a great job in the fact that Zal was always so angry he's not paying attention to details.
That's a big beat.
I do love the fact though that he was trying to move his car closer, and the guy in the snowmobile just hit the invisible car and flew over.
This film really had, it went all out. The tradition stays alive.
It's buried in my coat though.
What are your cons?
I mean, I guess it could be a little cartoonish because the gene therapy, as like sci-fi as it is kind of cartoonish. I don't really have any cons though.
So, I do agree with the gene therapy, though. Like, at least they didn't make it like Moonraker or whatever.
Yeah.
Where it's like Bond in space. It wasn't that crazy, so they kind of like kept it simple, sort of.
I guess like the parasailing, like it gets complaints because of the CGI and stuff like that. But it's like, is that the craziest, weirdest thing we've seen Bond do?
No.
No,
Yeah.
we saw him driving around in half a car.
Yeah. In the 60s. Like, come on now. So, my biggest con really is the CGI. So, I was looking at the reviews, and some of the reviews are like, they use too much of it. I'm not going to go that way.
Every movie in the early 2000s used too much CGI. It
Yeah.
was a kid with a candy store, you know?
Yeah, because you saw that you could do a lot more. The problem that I ultimately have the CGI is not the quantity, but the quality. And I get it.
Yeah.
It's still something new. But that looked bad. And I think that's my biggest knock against this
Yeah.
film is that the CGI was that bad.
A lot of movies from that time it was like a brand new thing. Everyone wanted to use it. Everyone thought it looked so cool. And then now we're looking back and it's like, no, it does not. Not even that people are like, this doesn't look good. But I get why so many people went to it because so many people were like, this is so much fun to do.
Instead of actually doing something, we can just hit X, Y, Z on the computer and look what it does. No, I don't have a problem with CGI. I do know, like, my belief is it's one of those things. It's a gift and a curse.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know how to use it. This one, I didn't have problems with how they were using it. I just had a problem with how bad the quality was. Like, if I was editing that film, like, dude, take a look at this. This CGI did not come out the way we wanted it to.
Yeah.
I would probably go, hey, we might need to reshoot some scenes that calm this down. Because it was just, that part was just too bad for me. And when I give my grade, this is what I'm going to say. When we give our final grades, the CGI was so bad, it knocked it down a letter. But you'll be surprised what my letter is.
Alright, what is it?
I'm giving it an A.
An A?
I'm giving it an A. I think I'm going to put it down right now. Because I know when we finish up the series, we're going to rank them. As of right now, this is definitely a top 5 Bond.
I'm going to give it a B+.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright, so we're going to talk about the Bond era now since it's over. Which one? Best Bond era? Best one was Pierce Brosnan.
I'm going to go with this one.
Die Another Day?
Yep.
I'm going to have to go with... it's close. I'm going to change something from earlier. Like, not even this video, like years ago. I'm going to give it to Tomorrow Never Dies.
Okay.
But GoldenEye, right there.
It's like 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final grade for Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan as Bond.
Yep.
I'm giving him an A. I did not have a problem with this at all.
I'm giving Pierce an S.
S.
S tier, best Bond.
So I think maybe because which one was like the lowest rated one for us?
I think it would probably be World Is Not Enough.
Yeah, I just kind of hurt.
I think it was a bit too. I don't think anyone in the movie did anything wrong. Everyone acted perfectly. I just think it was a bit too long and needed some scenes cut down.
Right. So next month we are starting the Daniel Craig 5.
Yep.
So we are in the final 5 months of this idea that we started back. God,
Too long ago.
that's what happens when there's like 152 films. Just like his animation idea is going to run like 37 years and counting.
Luckily, though, there's not a new Bond on the horizon, so we'll have a little bit of a
break.
reprieve
Yeah.
from Bond.
But until next time, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.